Hello, my name is Hannah, and I will be reading for you today. Rat Boy, Freak Monster, Freddy Krueger, E.T., Gross Out, Lizard Face, Mutai. I know the names they called me. I've been in enough playgrounds to know kids can be mean. I know. I end up in the second floor bathroom. No one was there because the first period had started and everyone was in the class. I locked the door to my stall and took off my mask and just cried for I don't know how long. Then I went to the nurse's office and told her I had a stomachache, which was true because I felt like I had been kicking in my gut. Nurse Molly called my mom and had me lie down on the sofa next to her desk. 15 minutes later, Mom was at the door. "Sweetness," she said, "come over to hug me." "Hi," I mumbled. I didn't want her to ask anything until afterward. "You have a stomachache?" she asked, automatically putting her hand on my forehead to check for a temperature. "He said he feels like throwing up," said Nurse Molly, looking at me with very nice eyes. "And I have a headache," I whispered. "I wonder if something you ate," she said Mom, looking worried. "There's a stomach bug going around," said Nurse Molly. "Oh, geez," said Mom, her eyebrows growing up as she shook her head. She helped me to my feet. "Should I call a taxi, or are you okay walking home?" "I can't walk." "I can walk." "What a brave kid," said Nurse Molly, patting me on the back as she walked us toward the door. "If he starts throwing up or runs a temperature, you should call the doctor." "Absolutely," said Mom, shaking Nurse Molly's hand. "Thank you so much for taking care of me." "My pleasure," answered Nurse Molly, putting her hand under my chin and tilting my face up. "You take care of yourself, okay?" I nodded and mumbled, "Thank you." Mom and I hugged, walked, and the whole way home. I didn't tell her anything about what had happened, and later, when she asked me if I felt well enough to go trick-or-treating after school, I said no. This worried her since I knew how much I usually love trick-or-treating. I heard her say to Dad on the phone, "He doesn't even have the energy to go trick-or-treating?" No fever at all. Well, I will if he doesn't feel better by tomorrow. I know, poor thing. Imagine his missing Halloween. I got out of going to school the next day, too, which was Friday, so I had the whole weekend to think about everything. I was pretty sure I would never go back to school again. Part 2, Via. Far and beyond the world, planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. David Bowie, Space Oddity. A tour of the galaxy. Augie is the sun. Me and Mom and Dad are planets orbiting the sun. The rest of our family and friends are asteroids and comets floating around the planets orbiting the sun. The only celestial body that doesn't orbit August, the sun, is Daisy, the dog, and that's only because to her little doggy eyes, August's face doesn't look very different from any other human's face. To Daisy, all our faces look alike, as flat and pale as the moon. I'm used to the way this universe works. I've never admitted it because it's all I ever known. I've always understood that August is special and has special needs. If I was playing too loudly and he was trying to take a nap, I knew I would play something else because he needed to rest after some producer or other had left him weak and in pain. If I wanted mom and dad to watch me play soccer, I knew that 9 out of 10 times they'd miss it because they were busy shulting Augies to speed therapy or physical therapy or a new scholastics or a surgery. Mom and dad would always say I was the most understanding little girl in the world. I don't know about that, just that I understood there was no point in complaining. I've seen August after his surgeries, his little face bandaged and the swollen, his tiny bottle full of IVs and tubes to keep him alive. After you've seen someone else going through that, it feels kind of crazy to complain over not getting the toy you had asked for, or your mom missing a school play. I knew this even when I was 6-year-old. No one ever told it to me. I just knew it. So I've gotten used to not complaining, and I've gotten used to not bothering mom and dad with little stuff. I've gotten used to figuring things out on my own and how to put toys together, how to organize my life so I don't miss friends' birthdays, parties, how to stay up on my schoolwork so I never fall behind in class. I've never asked for help with my homework, never needed reminding to finish a project or study for a test. If I was having trouble with a subject in school, I'd go home and study it until I figured it out on my own. I taught myself how to convert fractions into decimal points by going online. I've done every school project pretty much by myself. When mom or dad ask me how things are going in school, I've always said good, even when it hasn't always been good. My worst day, worst fall, worst headache, worst burnish, worst cramp, worst mean thing anyone could say has always been nothing compared to what August has gone through. This isn't me being noble by the way, it's just the way I know it is. And this is the way it's always been for me, for the little universe of us. But this year, there seems to be a shift in the commerce of the galaxy is changing. Planets are falling out of the ultimate. I honestly don't remember my life after August came into it. I looked at the pictures of me as a baby. I see mom and dad smiling so happily holding me. I can't believe how much younger they looked back then. Dad was his hipster dude and mom was this cute Brazil fashionista. There was one shot of me at my 3rd birthday. Dad's right behind me while mom's holding the cake with 3 lit candles. In the back of us are Tata and Papa, and Grand's and Uncle Ben, Auntie Kate, and Uncle Pa. Everyone's looking at me and I'm looking at the cake. You can see it in the picture how I really was the first child, the first grandchild, first niece. I don't remember what it felt like, of course, but I can't see the plain as can be in the pictures. I don't remember the day they brought August home from the hospital. I don't remember what I said or did or felt when I saw him for the first time. Though everyone has stories about it, apparently I just looked at him for a long time without saying anything at all, and then finally I said it. Doesn't look like Lily? That was the name of my doll Grams has given me when Mom was pregnant so I could practice being a big sister. It was one of those dolls that are very incredibly lifelike, and I had carried it everywhere for months, changing its diaper, feeding it. I'm told I even made a baby slicing for it. The story goes that after my intonation to August, it only took a few minutes, according to the Grand, or a few days, according to the Mom, before it was really over. Kissing him, cuddling him, baby talking to him. After that, I never so much as touched or mandatory Lily again.